Hello, welcome everybody to this new channel and my very first video in which I want to talk a little bit about the RG477M from Inbernic that I got a few weeks ago. I was really excited for this device. Unfortunately, it didn't really live up to my expectations, and this is not gonna be a review. I'm not gonna go into any details about the technicalities. For that, there's a lot of other reviews and YouTubers that do a way better job than me. I just want to talk a little bit about my experience, my use case for why I actually bought this device for some specific systems, in fact, and how they ended up playing and how this device feels in the hand in general. And as any other true retro handheld fanatic, I have obviously a lot of handhelds myself here that I can use to compare the RG477M with. I'm going to talk a little bit about any other of these in this video as well. So it's not going to be just about the RG477M. I'm going to talk about what I use all of these other devices for as well, for which systems, and then what I'm actually looking for in a device that I buy. And maybe some of you guys are looking for exactly the same and my opinion might be of interest to you. So let's go jump in. So the main reason why I bought this device is because it has a 4x3 display and it is D-pad centric. So the D-pad is here on top on the left side, unlike other devices that might have an analog stick here on top. And I specifically bought this device to play NES, SNES and PlayStation 1 because I thought the 4x3 is going to be a perfect fit and the D-pad centric controls are going to be a perfect fit as well. Unfortunately, I didn't end up quite liking it as much as I would have loved to. I had big expectations and they weren't quite met. And I just want to talk a little bit about why I hesitated to keep this device, because I'm going to probably sell all of these devices that I'm not going to use for a long time. So the very first thing that I noticed when I actually got this device and hold it in my hand, it's quite heavy. And I was thinking, I liked metal handhelds usually. I really love them. My very first device was the RG341M, I think it was from Inbernic as well. I loved that device. 2 bits, I played a lot on it. I love the metal shell on it. I thought it's really premium, really felt nice. So I didn't mind the metal shell here. Some people prefer plastic, but I thought it's gonna be perfect for me. So I got this device, but it is quite heavy. I never had this huge of a device with a metal shell, and I did feel the heaviness in it. And when I actually started playing, the heaviness kind of bothered me. I thought my hands felt a little bit more tired than usual, and because of the heaviness and the really flat surfaces on this device, it kind of slipped in my hands a little bit down. I couldn't really get a good grip on it when I played games, so that was a little bit bothering me. After a while, I actually now got used to it. I adapted to it because the device that I came from when I got this one was this one. I played a lot of Game Boy Advance on this. This is my favorite device, I think, that I own here. Retroid Pocket Mini. I played some Advance Wars here. It's beautiful. It's perfect for Game Boy games. And that's why I also bought this device, mainly for Game Boy games. And it's perfect for that. I love it. I played some Game Boy Color games before. Now I went to Game Boy Advance. And yeah, this is obviously very light and small device with a small display. And when I then got this one in my hand, it felt very heavy actually. And what I also noticed the display, which I thought is going to be beautifully big and a perfect fit for these home console devices, so NES and SNES. I thought since these are home console devices, they would be on the TV back in the day, so a big display like this would be really beautiful with it. But I noticed the display, and maybe it's also because I came from this little display here, I felt the display was a little bit too big. And that was a little bit weird to me. I thought, man, my eyes need to move a lot across the screen here to not miss anything. So it was a little bit weird. It kind of bothered me. This is a 4x7 inches display. Obviously it's 4x3, so size-wise and pixel scaling-wise, it's perfect for NES and SNES. And the display does look nice. I do prefer an OLED, but this one isn't too bad either. It kind of mirrors a little bit more than I feel the OLED does. But yeah, it's still a very nice display. I got used to it after a few weeks as well. I kind of appreciate it, but I was curious, why did it feel so big? And what I actually thought about is how big would an CRT TV actually be in comparison to a handheld like this, if you consider the distance? Because back in the days you would hold the controller, you probably sit like 2-3 meters from the TV and play the game, while you hold a handheld maybe like 30 centimeters or 50 centimeters away from your face. So I was wondering, is this actually bigger than it would appear to you back in the days on a CRT TV? So I actually asked ChatGPT out of curiosity here, the reference experience on PS1. Most people in the late 90s played a CRT TV between 20 and 27 inches, measured diagonally. Viewing distance would usually be around 2 meters, so 200 centimeters. Blah, 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 calculating angular size, blah, blah, it does a little bit of math. And it comes out, that works out to be a 4-inch 4x3 screen. So a 4-inch screen at 30 centimeters away gives you almost exactly the same size on your retina as a 25 inches CRT at 2 meters away. Isn't that interesting? 4x7 is quite much bigger than that. So I don't know if that was the case. I did get used to this screen. However, I never really appreciated the size. Still, after a few weeks of playing, it doesn't really grab me. And I do have actually a 4-inch display in this Anbernic RG406H. So I bought this device the same time as this one just because I wanted an analog-centric 4x3 as well, mainly to play N40, N64. And I do have to say, this 4-inch display, when I started playing on this one, it was kind of perfect. Like, I do wish it to be a little bit more bigger when I actually look at it like this, but when I actually play, it never actually is too small for me. It's really just smooth. I don't really notice the display even that much, and I actually ended up mastering Super Mario 64 here with retro achievements on this device. It just feels really nice. Like, this 4-inch display fits these home consoles, these 4x3 home consoles pretty well. So yeah, I still would like to know if a bigger display with more comfortable controls would be better, but I do have to say 4 inches seems to be enough for most of these home console displays. And in my opinion, I think NES specifically is actually perfect on a 4-inch display. If it's a little bit too big, it doesn't really feel that nice with NES. I think NES is more like closer to a Game Boy, where you want a smaller display. Actually, it feels way better on a smaller display than on a big display. SNES doesn't. I think SNES feels really nice on a bigger display. But yeah, I think if I would get at one point a perfect 4x3, if I would get in the future a 4x3 device, 4 inches with D-pad centric controls, I think that would be my go-to NES handheld from there out on. But yeah, maybe Retro is gonna release one soon. I didn't really find any good ones yet. 4 inches D-pad centric devices with nice controls like these. This is an Anbernic, so they usually don't do these controls. They usually go for this chocolate bar shape here, which I don't really like anymore. I used to appreciate it because it looks slick and nice, but I came around to liking these bumps and stacked shoulder buttons more now. It doesn't really help out with NES, but again, like, I really like this form factor with the bumps and the shoulder buttons more. So yeah, that's also what kind of bothers me. Like, this big display is kind of beautiful. I thought I'm gonna love it, but I just don't. Like, it's fine. It doesn't bother me anymore, but I still don't really love it. Like, the games don't look better on it, I feel. I played a lot of Metal Gear Solid here on this device lately, and I do have to say, I also played it on this device, and I do have to say, like, the bigger display doesn't really make big of a difference for me. It doesn't feel any better than playing Metal Gear Solid on this 4 inches when I actually played on this 4x7-inch display. So yeah, a lot of people complained about the fan here, the fan noise, and it's quite loud, I do have to say. I didn't think it would bother me as much as it actually ended up bothering me, but I don't really play any high demanding games on this anyway. The most demanding games are PlayStation 1 games, so the fan, I don't even need to turn it on, but yeah, if it's actually on, it's quite loud. You can hear it maybe here. And it is louder than other devices that I own, so that probably if you play GameCube or PS2, you do have to turn it on, and it's loud. The game sound doesn't really cover it as I thought it would. But yeah, GameCube runs pretty nice on this device. It's not perfect, which is already not ideal for me. I wouldn't buy this device to play GameCube. PlayStation 2 ran pretty nice from what I saw, but again, I didn't try many games. If you want a real deep dive, you would need to check other YouTubers. Retro Game Core, obviously the best one out there. I love his channel. And I also was really looking for the 120 Hertz display here. So this display has 120 Hertz. I thought games would look smoother in it with black frame insertion, but honestly, I tried it out. I didn't really see any difference. It was a little bit disappointing. It doesn't make any difference to me. None of my other devices have 120 Hertz, and I couldn't see any more smoothness even with black frame insertion turned on or off. And I did check all the settings. It should be running at 120 Hertz, but I still didn't see a difference. Maybe I'm too much of a noob for that, but yeah, the 120 Hertz didn't really do anything for me. So unfortunately, that was a disappointment as well. So to summarize, I did have my fun with this device. It is quite fun. I got used to the size of it. I got used to the weight of it, to the controls a little bit. It's a little bit uncomfortable to hold, especially since I hit this analog stick quite often when I'm actually going for the face buttons. It's a little bit weird, but I don't think it's a keeper. I don't think I will keep this device. I will probably sell it to buy other devices. But I'm still looking for the Perfect NES and SNES emulator, retro handheld emulation device. I do have now the Perfect Game Boy device. I think there's nothing that I can ever buy that's gonna be better than this one. I love this one to bits. Perfect Game Boy device. Now I just need the perfect home console retro device. So for NES, SNES, Sega Genesis. I do have the Retroid Pocket 5 for PlayStation 2, and I did really enjoy playing Resident Evil 4 on this device. I actually mastered the whole set here, the achievements on this device. And it was because Resident Evil is one of the few games that you can actually really nicely play with the D-pad. But I did notice that most games that I actually want to play with them, even the PlayStation Portable games, which I thought this device is going to be perfect for PSP, but even the PlayStation Portable games that I want to play usually prefer an analog stick here. So this device is quite uncomfortable using the analog stick here. It's way more comfortable if you use the D-pad. That's why I'm actually waiting for the Odin 3 to replace this device for me. I think the Odin 3 is going to be perfect for PlayStation 2 and GameCube and PlayStation Portable even, and probably gonna get rid of this device afterwards. But I did have my fun with the RP Retroid Pocket 5 here. I think it looks beautiful. I think it's a nice device, but it's just not as comfortable as I actually would have liked it to. But Resident Evil 4, playing it on this device was a joy. I couldn't get enough of it. I played through the whole game in like a month. I mastered the whole game in a month, so all the achievements, all the retro achievements here. But that's for the RP5 here. When I bought the RP5, I also bought this RP Mini here, the Retroid Pocket Mini, and this has a beautiful retro styled shell with the red here. I love how this looks. Unfortunately, I immediately noticed when I started this device, the display is horrible. Kinda was smaller than I expected, and luckily they released the version 2 with a bigger display here, with this beautiful square display. I really like this one way more. It feels way nicer than the first version. Unfortunately, they only had this one in black, so it would be really nice if they would have released this second version with the same colors as the first version. Unfortunately, we didn't get that, so maybe in the future, if there's gonna be nicer colors, I would replace this. Otherwise, I think this is perfect. As I said already a lot of times here in this video, this is the perfect Game Boy device. I wouldn't need anything else, to be honest, to play Game Boy games and any other handheld games. The Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, the Wonder Swan, and obviously also the Game Gear. Then I also have my Retroid Pocket 3 still here, the M Retroid Pocket 3 in the metal version. And I also like this device a lot. This was my main device for a time. I still just have it laying around here. I don't really play anything with it anymore. The RP5 perfectly replaces this one. This has a few quirks. The select and start button are on top on here. And it's not the perfect device, but I did enjoy my time with it. It's cool for PlayStation Portable. The analog sticks actually a little bit more comfortable to use than on the RP5, but I'm probably gonna get rid of this one quite soon. And then let's talk quickly about the RG406H from Anbernic here. And this was really a surprise hit for me. I didn't expect to like this device as much as I ended up doing. I again bought it mainly because it has analog stick on top with a 4x3. I thought it's gonna be nice for N64, and it was perfect for N64. I love it. I'm probably gonna play all the N64 games on this device. There's nothing to complain about. Some PlayStation 1 games that support analog stick are also nice on this one. So this is really, yeah, it's cheap, 150 bucks I paid for it. So very recommended for this specific use case that I use it for. I also bought this Miyu Mini here, and this is just a toy. I actually don't really play with it anymore. I did play with it. I thought Pokemon was gonna be cool on a small device like this, but yeah, I ended up not really enjoying it that much. It's a little bit too small for me. It looks cute if you play with it a little bit, but it actually lags sometimes on the simplest games, on Pokemon games. I don't know if there's anything in the settings that I can change. The pixel scaling isn't perfect either. It has its charm, but yeah, it's just a little toy. I don't really play with it anymore. It's just there to sometimes turn on to play on a little screen like this, but yeah, nothing really serious that I'm doing with this one. So yeah, in the end, I only have one perfect device, the Retroid Pocket Mini version 2 here, that I'm gonna use for all the Game Boy games in the future. I'm a big retro achievements hunter, so that's why I buy these devices, just so I can have the perfect device to play any system with and get retro achievements for it. So I'm gonna use this system for any Game Boy handheld systems here. I'll probably use this one for N64 in the forthcoming future. I don't think anything will replace that anytime soon. I do now hope for a device that has D-pad centric 4x3 with a little bit of a smaller screen to have my perfect NES SNES emulator at one point. I am eyeing the RG476H, which has the same screen as this one, but it's plastic and it has a little bit of a better grip, I feel. It also has stacked shoulder buttons. I might enjoy that one more. It's gonna be lighter than this one. I'll probably try it, I'll buy it, maybe I'll like it, but I think I actually need a little bit of a smaller display for NES and SNES. For PlayStation 2 and GameCube, I still have my Retroid Pocket 5, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be replaced by the Odin 3 that I bought, and PlayStation Portable is probably also gonna be Odin 3. I really put a lot of faith in the Odin 3 to emulate those perfectly for me with the perfect controls, and that I can really grind retro achievements on that one. And then obviously there's one device left, the AYN Thor. I am super looking forward to the Thor. I was waiting for a dual screen handheld for a very long time. I finally can play the Nintendo DS catalog and get achievements on that one, because I never wanted actually to play Nintendo DS on a horizontal handheld like this. I thought it's really awkward, so I'm really looking forward to the AYN4 and to play Nintendo DS, 3DS maybe even though we don't have retro achievements for 3DS yet. But once I get these devices, I will make a video if you are interested in it. If you have any questions to these devices, leave me a comment. I might, if you want me to test something, I might do another video before I actually sell these. I will put some of these up on eBay, this one, and this one, so I can get some money for the Odin and Thor devices. And I would like to buy every single retro handheld that comes out in the future and do a little review of it. Nothing too deep. I think I'll stick to my use case and tell you guys how every system plays on these devices and which are the best systems to play on which devices. That's probably what I'm gonna focus on. Maybe even do some gaming content in the future. Either way, if you have any questions, leave me a comment. Would really appreciate you guys if you leave me a comment, just so I know anybody watches this. I'm really looking forward to do more with retro handhelds. This is a really big hobby of mine. I love these devices. I can't get enough of them. I always check what's new upcoming, and I do really want to buy basically all of them. I do have to hold myself back most of the time, but I would like to try at least most of these handhelds, even if I can sell them on eBay afterwards to recoup my money. I probably can manage to buy most of these just so I can try them out and show them on videos here. So if you're interested in content like this, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment if you have any questions, leave a like, would really appreciate it, and see you next time. Hope you liked this very first video of mine. Peace out.